A cheerful good morning and a very warm welcome to one and all present today in this GK class. I once again welcome you back on behalf of Sunbeam Academy. As if you would have gone through the newspapers and everything, so already we have started, or the vaccination drive has been already started in our country. The very first people who are getting vaccinated are the health workers who have put their lives into trouble, at risk, in order to save the common peoples during this pandemic situations, that is basically during, or basically from the harmful effects, or basically from this COVID-19 situations which have been created throughout the year. They were not sitting in their homes, or they were not they did not left their jobs, but they still continue to work at the same place where they were able to get a lot number of COVID affected peoples now and then on a daily basis at a very large scale. But still they were able to cope up with that situations as well, and they are able to, and we can say that just because of their efforts, as well as some of the awareness which has been spread by the government, and some of the initiatives or the things, for all those people who have listened, using the mask, sanitizing themselves and taking utmost care or precautions, has helped us to see these figures which are declining very quickly since last 1 to 2 weeks. As all of us we know that the number of active COVID cases is declining very rapidly nowadays. If we talk about our own state, that is your Uttar Pradesh, or even India as well, so we don't have a lot number of cases. That is, if we talk about UP or Varanasi, so we have 15 to 20 cases per day, which was around 10,000 to 15,000 earlier. So it is this is really a good sign for us, and I hope, or let us hope, that our new session does not goes into the same darkness which has passed recently. Let's hope for a brighter sunshine, so that we are able to resume our entire physical classrooms and everything. Okay, so starting with this, we have here is, that is, first and the foremost thing, I hope this is the first class after the your periodic test 2 exams, because last Thursday was 14th of Jan, on which there was a holiday on account of Makar Sankranti. So we have here this one. These are the page numbers which has been recently done by you, as well as you all have given the exams, so you all have assessed yourself as well, that is how much you all are knowing. Okay, apart from this, today we are going to start with our next, with our annual portion basically. So if you are able to observe, or all of you must be knowing about this as well, that is, this our environment topic, okay, of the annual portion consists of 4 page numbers, that is your 44, 47, 53 and 60. Out of these 4 page numbers, if you remember, 2 of them, that is 42 and 47, have been already completed by us in your periodic test 2, and we have only these 2 page numbers, that is 53 and 60, left behind in this topic, our environment. Let us try to complete it, or let us try to just at least finish at least one or both the pages today itself. Okay, one more thing going ahead with this. Okay, the questions which was given in the last class, I did not got any of the answers from any of the students. So maybe the question was very much tough, I don't think so, as per your level. And at the same time, I request everyone to, since today also we are going to have the same questions, because none of you have attempted those questions, so today the homework or the questions will remain the same, and I request everyone to please share your solutions, so that we are able to discuss it, and people are also able to get to know the solutions of it. If not, I will be providing you the solutions immediately after the query session window. So with this, let us start with our first page number of this annual portion, page number 53. Ferns, lichens and fungi. This fungi word is very much typical enough as people are using it as a title also. Title means they are able to use it in their common languages as well. This is really good sign for the writers as well, or for all those peoples who are using it, trying to improve their English as much as possible. So we have here, this is our page number 53, that is your ferns, lichens and your fungi. Okay, when we are talking about the ferns, you must have observed the flower shops which are present in our cities. They would be having the names ferns and petals, okay, or something like this. One of them is this one. So ferns are basically the type of plants which do not have flowers in them. Basically, they have broader leaves are there with a very small, little bit pointed leaves, you can say, or coming out in both the directions, that is left as well as right. And basically, these ferns are used in a greater quantity for decorating your stages, in the parties, in the marriage functions, or in any kind of events which require some or the other kinds of decoration activities. Starting with this lichens, if you remember, lichens are the associations between your bacteria and fungi, whereas, sorry, between your algae and fungi, whereas fungi is one of the types of microorganisms. In the case of lichens, if you all remember, or you can just turn the pages of your science books as well, second chapter, microorganisms, friend or foe, or just simply microorganisms. So there you all have studied how these two organisms, that is your algae and fungi, they live together and they perform symbiotic association, forming symbiotic association and thereby helping each other to carry out their life needs. In the case of lichens, if I just hold on. So these are the two organisms basically, that is your algae and fungi, and together they make up the lichens. This is a kind of your symbiotic association in which both the organisms, they are helping each other to carry out their life needs or to carry out their survival. Now let us see how they are able to do it. Here it is. Algae, as all of you know, algae is what? It is one of the kind of plants only, smaller plants, which have chlorophyll present in them, and due to the presence of chlorophyll, these algae are able to prepare their own foods. So these algae are autotroph in nature, whereas fungi is heterotrophic in nature. Since fungi is not able to prepare its own food, so it comes in close association with algae. As algae is able to prepare its own food, so fungi shares the food, or you can say that algae shares its food with fungi as well. Okay, in turn, what does this fungi does? Fungi provides water and minerals to the algae to perform its basic needs. So basically when we are talking about fungi, so fungi is providing water and minerals to the developing alga, whereas this algae is providing food to the fungi as it is autotrophic in nature. All right. So in this way, both of them they are forming symbiotic association. That is, both of them they are helping each other to carry out their life needs. Moving ahead with this. Okay. Fungi is one of the types of microorganisms. If you remember, you have studied about 5 different types of microorganisms. That is your algae, fungi, protozoa, bacteria and viruses. Okay. So starting with this, that is against the following statements, write T for true and F for false in the boxes. The study of ferns is called pteridology. This is true. अभी जब आप लोग next year जा ही रहे हैं आप लोग, okay, when you are going in class 9th, so you will be studying one of the chapters which is known as your diversity in living organisms, okay, diversity in plants and diversity in animals. ओके तो वहाँ पे आप क्लासिफिकेशन पढ़ोगे कि प्लांट्स को कैसे क्लासीफाई किया जाता है, एनिमल्स को कैसे क्लासीफाई किया जाता है. सो इन दैट केस व्हाट यू आर गोइंग टू स्टडी, यू विल बी स्टडिंग अबाउट टेरिडोफाइट्स. वो भी एक ग्रुप है, ठीक है, क्लास है, ठीक है, क्लास नहीं है, ग्रुप है बेसिकली, टेरिडोफाइट्स. एंड ऑन दैट नेम ओनली वी हैव टेरिडोलॉजी. So ferns are one of the examples of, or they fall into the category of pteridophytes. Here P is silent here. So the study of ferns is called pteridology. So this is completely true here. Ferns reproduce through spores. This is also completely true here. If you remember class 7th students, that is we had the chapter that is in class 7th you all have studied the chapter that is reproduction in plants. In that chapter you all have studied that is reproduction through spores, and ferns were the examples which were able to form sporangia, mycelium and hypha, and as a result of which they were able to form spores which were the reproducing bodies. Okay. All lichens are poisonous and cannot be eaten. This is completely false. Since lichens are preparing the foods, so most of the lichens or some of the lichens they can be used as one of the food items. Mushrooms are a kind of fungi. True. 2 species of fungus and algae existing together form lichens. Just now I have explained you. Now see, remember this thing, that is fungus is the singular form whereas fungi is the plural form. Okay, algae is the singular form most probably, whereas alga is the plural form. Okay, so these two, that is your fungus and algae, they exist together by forming, and their symbiotic association basically forms lichens. Fungi can grow even under oceans. Completely agree, that is true here. Truffles are a kind of fungi. This is also true. Yeast is not a fungus. Okay, now see, yeast is not a fungus. This is false here. It means yeast is a fungus. Again here comes your second chapter, microorganisms. So if you remember, that is you all have studied about bread. Okay, what are the things which are present, in that case of bread, or whenever we are talking about any of the items which are being prepared by preparing the paste one night before or overnight and keeping it for the fermentation process. Okay, so this yeast is what? It is a unicellular fungus. Okay, not only fungus but unicellular as well. And recently you all have studied about the cell chapter also, so I don't think I have to explain you what do you understand by unicellular. Okay, so whenever anyone asks you regarding this part, that is what is yeast, so I request everyone to provide this answer only, that is yeast is a unicellular fungus. Okay, yeast is a unicellular fungus. So unicellular basically means, that is uni means one, cellular means cell. So there is only one cell present in the yeast, that is yeast is an example of a unicellular organism, and organisms have been classified into 5 categories, out of which this fungus is one of them. Okay, so yeast is a unicellular fungus. Yeast powder also we have. Okay, all of these items, that is your bakery items, basically involve the use of yeast or yeast powder, okay, to carry out the fermentation process. Okay, so yeast is not a fungus, completely false, because it is a unicellular fungus. Some molds are used to give certain types of cheese their typical taste, true. Fungi give us antibiotic, completely true. If you remember, that is same chapter again, second chapter, microorganisms. In that you have studied, that is the very first antibiotic which was developed was penicillin. Okay, I hope penicillin only was that. Next we have here is, that is mycorrhiza is a symbiotic relationship between lichen and fungus. Okay, lichen is already one of the association between fungus and algae, but if this relationship exists between lichen and fungus, so that is not known as mycorrhiza. Okay, in the case of mycorrhiza, what I remember is that mycorrhiza is the relationship related to myco means it is related to fungus only, but I hope it is the relationship of fungus with the plants or anything like that. Okay, because mycology is the study of fungi, remember it, and from there only this word mycorrhiza has been taken. Okay, so always remember this part, that is when anyone says you mycology. Okay, this is one of the subjects when you are going to study BSc or complete your graduations, mycology. Okay, that is the study of fungi is known as mycology. Okay, next we have here is, that is fungi have cell walls, true. Okay, now see, generally we have observed or we have studied that only plants have cell walls, whereas animals do not have cell walls. Here is one of the exceptions to that. As all of you know that fungi is not a plant because it is not an autotroph. Okay, it is a heterotroph, dependent on others for their food, but still fungi, they have cell walls present in them. Okay, crosshairs are the edible part of some ferns. This is also true. What are crosshairs? Please try to find it out. Chlorophyll does not exist in fungi. This is completely true, because fungi is heterotrophic in nature or saprotrophic, or performs saprotrophic nutrition. Okay, now again here when the word chlorophyll has come, so one thing I would like to explain you here, most probably I have explained you in class 7th as well, or your respective teachers would have explained you. Whenever we are talking about chlorophyll, okay, so this chlorophyll is one of the pigments which are being, just hold on please. Okay, just have a reading to this. I'm just providing you with this, just hold on, so that we can just go ahead with our syllabus and let us try to complete it. Okay, so in this case what we have here is, that is your chlorophyll when we are talking about. So chlorophyll is one of the pigments. Okay, or chlorophyll, it is a type of pigment which performs which helps in the process of photosynthesis. Okay, this chlorophyll pigment which is present inside the plants, it performs two functions. The first function is providing green color to the plants, whereas the second function is it helps in trapping the sunlight. Okay, so these are the two functions which are being performed by your chlorophyll, that is providing green color to the plants and trapping the sunlight, so that this heat energy can be utilized to break or carry out the different processes. Okay, apart from that, you will also be studying what are the different types of chlorophylls in your higher classes. The next, just now I have discussed you, that is the study of fungi is called mycology. That is completely true here. The last part we have, that is your squamulose lichens are small and leafy. So squamulose lichens are small and leafy. This is also completely true here. Okay, moving ahead with this, that is the fact files we have here. So see, these are the fonts basically. Okay, इसी को हम fonts बोलते हैं और मैक्सिमम इसी का यूज़ किया जाता है डेकोरेशन पर्पसेस से, क्योंकि ये काफ़ी सस्ता होता है and it grows very easily. It does not require a lot of nutrients and everything, and that is why we use it on a larger scale for decoration purposes. Okay, moving ahead with this, if you are able to see, these are the mushrooms which are present here. Okay, we have a umbrella like structure, that is your cap, and inside this you will be having a lot of structures. Okay, next we have here is, that is the fact file here. The death cap mushroom is a deadly poisonous fungus. If eaten, this mushroom can kill a person in just 6 to 12 hours. तो ध्यान रखिएगा कि mushrooms, क्योंकि maximum लोग prefer करते हैं. Okay, but you know that this if the wild mushrooms are there, or the mushrooms are being cultivated at a larger scale, that is good, no problem. But if the same mushrooms are taken from the jungles, or they are not grown anywhere, they have been grown and packed and provided into the market, so that can be dangerous as well. So if you are going to consume mushroom, I request you to please boil it in water for a little bit longer period of time, so that if any kind of poison or any kind of microorganisms or any kind of harmful bacteria or pathogens are present, so they will be getting killed there. Moving ahead with the last part, that is your think box. So do you think ferns and lichens are stronger than humans and other animals in terms of survival in harsh conditions? Give reasons for your answers. Okay, now see, this is a point, this is the topic which we can choose it for our discussions as well. Okay, because generally we cannot have a discussion over this part. Okay, because in this case what is there, that is ferns and lichens, they used to, or each and every plant that remains at its own position, at its own location for a longer period of time, whether it is the snowfall is occurring, rainfall is occurring, or sunlight is there in the summers, winters, and every time. So of course they are much more stronger than us, because we try to adjust ourselves as per the situations or as per our conditions, but they are not having legs, so that they can just move from one place to another, so they have to face all these harsh conditions. Okay, so this was there for today, that is page number 53. Moving ahead with this, we have the current affairs basically. These were the questions. I'll be just giving you the time again today, so that you may have a screenshot or anything like that. Starting with this, so we have here is, that is sorry, not 15th. Okay, right, 20. Okay. So here we have, that is your China's atrocities against Uyghurs genocide, that is your Trump administration. So here the administration of the outgoing US President Donald Trump on January 19th, 2021 declared China's atrocities against the Muslim Uyghurs and other ethnic groups in Xinjiang as genocide. Side is basically related to death, okay, like your suicide, okay. Genocide, that is basically to most probably, I hope, gender here, okay. The government added that Chinese Communist Party must be held for its inhuman actions. The Department of State has been directed to get the relevant details regarding the ongoing atrocities in Xinjiang. Next we have here is, that is India Innovation Index 2020. Karnataka, Delhi turn out to be the most innovative state or UT, your union territories, okay, most probably. Niti Aayog on January 20 released the India Innovation Index 2020 virtually. Karnataka topped the index as the most innovative state, and Delhi has been ranked as the most innovative union territory. On the other hand, Himachal Pradesh topped the index in north, eastern or hilly states category. Bihar has been ranked as the last state in the index, okay. If you would have observed, nowadays much more focus has been there by our honorable Prime Minister on Bihar in order to develop Bihar as much as possible, just like other states of India. India began supply of COVID-19 vaccine to 6 countries. If you remember, I have not discussed with you, but our country India, that is not only supplying this to, not only has started this vaccination drive in our country, but it has also provided it to other parts of the countries as well, like your Sri Lanka, Afghanistan, Mauritius, okay, Myanmar, Bhutan, Maldives, Seychelles, with effect from January 2021. I hope one of the delegates from Nepal has recently visited. Maybe this was the reason only, okay, in order to get the vaccine, because earlier they were shaking their hands with China only. When they were along with Chinese people, they were creating some kind of problems on the borders as well. PM Modi releases funds to over 6 lakh UP beneficiaries under Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana, most probably, okay. Financial assistance to more than 6 lakh beneficiaries under the ambitious scheme Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana Grameen. Okay, UN launches program against terrorist threats, that is United Nations Office of Counter Terrorism on January 19, 2021 launched a program to tackle the terrorist threats. The program, launched in partnership with other agencies, will enable the UN member states to deal with this scourge, okay, or to deal with this problem. So this is the question. Once more I'm sharing it. I hope you can have the screenshot or anything like that. Okay, so we have here is only 3 questions are there. Please try to do it. I hope you will be finding them interesting as well. Okay, and I request you not to have it in your rough copies only. Please try to have it in your brains as well, so that at the time of your examinations, or whenever you are going to sit for any kind of competitive examinations, so you may remember, if not forgotten, that yes, we have practiced these questions little earlier. Okay, I hope you have taken the screenshots or anything like that. Okay, so this was there for today. Next week again we are going to go ahead with the last page of this, our environment, as well as we will be going ahead with our next topic as well. Okay, so till then, take care, and please don't forget to take all the necessary precautions, and at the same time please start studying, because your annual exams are now going to approach very soon. So that's all for today. Thanks a lot for being with me and have a superb day ahead. Thank you.